The neck is the part of the body, on many terrestrial or secondarily aquatic vertebrates, that distinguishes the head from the torso or trunk. The adjective signifying of the neck is cervical. Structure. The cervical spine. The cervical portion of the human spine comprises 7 bony segments, typically referred to as a C1 to C7, with cartilaginous discs between each vertebral body. The neck supports the weight of the head and protects the nerves that carry sensory and motor information from the brain down to the rest of the body. In addition, the neck is highly flexible and allows the head to turn and flex in all directions. From top to bottom, the cervical spine is gently curved in convex forward fashion. It is the least marked of all the curves of the column. Soft tissue anatomy. In the middle line below the chin can be felt the body of the hyoid bone, just below which is the prominence of the thyroid cartilage called Adam's apple, better marked in men than in women. Still lower, the cricoid cartilage is easily felt, while between this and the suprasternal notch the trachea and isthmus of the thyroid gland may be made out. At the side, the outline of the sternomastoid muscle is the most striking mark. It divides the anterior triangle of the neck from the posterior. The upper part of the former contains the submaxillary gland, also known as the submandibular glands, which lies just below the posterior half of the body of the jaw. The line of the common and the external carotid arteries may be marked by joining the sternoclavicular articulation to the angle of the jaw. The 11th or spinal accessory nerve corresponds to a line drawn from a point midway between the angle of the jaw and the mastoid process to the middle of the posterior border of the sternomastoid muscle, and thence across the posterior triangle to the deep surface of the trapezius. The external jugular vein can usually be seen through the skin. It runs in a line drawn from the angle of the jaw to the middle of the clavicle, and close to it are some small lymphatic glands. The anterior jugular vein is smaller, and runs down about ½ an inch from the middle line of the neck. The clavicle or collarbone forms the lower limit of the neck, and laterally the outward slope of the neck to the shoulder is caused by the trapezius muscle. Development. Other animals. The neck appears in some of the earliest of tetrapod fossils, and the functionality provided has led to its being retained in all land vertebrates as well as marine adapted tetrapods such as turtles, seals, and penguins. Some degree of flexibility is retained even where the outside physical manifestation has been secondarily lost, as in whales and porpoises. A morphologically functioning neck also appears among insects. Its absence in fish and aquatic arthropods is notable, as many have life stations similar to a terrestrial or tetrapod counterpart, or could otherwise make use of the added flexibility. The word neck is sometimes used as a convenience to refer to the region behind the head in some snails, gastropod mollusks, even though there is no clear distinction between this area, the head area, and the rest of the body. Neck of a goose. Giraffes are well known for having a long neck. Clinical relevance. Neck pain. Disorders of the neck are a common source of pain. The neck has a great deal of functionality but is also subject to a lot of stress. Common sources of neck pain include whiplash, strained muscle or other soft tissue injury, cervical herniated disc, cervical spinal stenosis, osteoarthritis. Vascular sources of pain, like arterial dissections or internal jugular vein thrombosis, cervical adenitis.